Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. So the 4-point skirt is actually... So we develop with Unreal Engine, so of course the skirt will naturally flow, right? This time we will focus on expressing natural movement in costume animation, especially skirt-shaped costumes. Let me introduce you to the animation-related R&D process. Let's briefly recall the key animation and rigging and skinning introduced in the hair animation section. Key animation holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. Rigging and skinning connect each vertex of the modeling to the skeleton rigging and give the skeleton a weight to be affected by its movement, skinning. 4-point skirt, not bulletproof. Taking the popo skirt as an example, the skirt hem of the popo skirt is rigged and skinned to the leg bones. So when the legs move, due to the key animation, the attached skirt moves together. So what should I do to make the skirt part of the 4-point skirt move separately? You just need to create an additional skeleton to move the skirt and set a separate key animation. Volitions who have seen the hair animation process will have already noticed, but there is a problem. So they're just saying the same, they're just using the hair example here. If this continues, the skeleton will continue to proliferate as each costume has a different shape. However, this is a problem I have already experienced once with hair animation. Just apply the same solution as hair animation. So, cloth simulation. It is a type of physics-based animation that was previously introduced in hair animation. It refers to a technology that imitates the motion of flexible materials such as clothing or fabric. What makes hair animation different from physically based animation is that cloth simulation movements do not require a skeleton. Of course, since physical calculations are performed at the vertex level instead, it is bound to be heavy in terms of performance. What if we combined Mabinogi with cloth simulation, which is excellent for expressing the smooth movement of fabric? I started applying the cloth simulation by imagining the possum skirt I was wearing swaying in the air every time I walked. The problem is form. A problem occurred during testing with various types of skirts: short skirt, long skirt, wide skirt, narrow skirt. By rigging and skinning, there are no parts that can be stretched beyond the original form of the modeling. As physics calculations were performed at the vertex level, side effects occurred, such as legs going through the skirt or the bottom of the skirt being rolled up. Of course, there is room for improvement by setting additional physical properties and increasing the amount of computation. It was difficult to expect natural movement in long and narrow skirts. If you attach a skeleton as before, rig it, skin it, and then use the key animation to move it, the mesh will stretch beyond its existing shape. The movement of the flowing skirt that was initially thought is moving further away. Physics simulation again. As applied in previous hair, a separate skeleton for the skirt was created, separated from the basic skeleton, and attached to the skeleton for the skirt. A method of applying physics simulation was introduced. The basic skeleton of the character is used to control the character's movement. This skeleton determines the overall movement of the character and handles the basic animations such as walking, running, jumping, etc. The skeleton for the skirt is responsible for simulating the physics of the skirt parts, used to represent the movement of the skirt more realistically. Physics-based animation calculates the movement of the skirt by considering physical factors such as gravity, air resistance, and external interference. For example, when a character moves quickly, the effect of a skirt blowing in the wind is physically simulated. The physical effects make the game character's motion feel more lifelike and realistic. By combining these two separate skeletal systems, the overall movement of the character utilizes traditional animation techniques, while the movement of one particular part, the skirt, is expressed more naturally through physics-based form. However, there were problems with applying physics-based animation. In small movements, there is less response to external factors. The movement of the skirt is difficult to express in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, it is necessary to adjust the parameters of the physics simulation or adjust the size and direction of motion. There were limits to the physical simulation results appearing natural in all movements. Combination of key animation and physics simulation. To solve the problem, key animation was applied to the skeleton at the beginning of the chain in the chain-shaped skirt skeleton. This ensures that movement at the top of the skirt is reliably controlled by key animation. We apply physics-based animation to the remaining bones of the skirt, propagating physical movement based on the key animation movement of the top bone. Through this, it has become a form that can satisfy both stability in large motions and movement in small motions. The problem is that you need to separate the skeletons for all skirt-shaped meshes and set key animations for each skeleton for each mesh. To solve this, we used Unreal's retargeting function. Utilize retargeting system. To increase efficiency, add a skirt bone to the basic torso skeleton. Using this, we used Unreal's retargeting system in the process of applying key animation to the top bone of the skirt. Add the skirt's armature to the main torso armature. This integrates the skirt and bodice bones into one frame. Apply key animation to the skirt bone added to the basic torso bone. The animation will control the movement of the top part of the skirt. Using Unreal's retargeting system, skirts of various shapes, long skirts, short skirts, skirts with one side long, skirts with different waistlines, starting points, allows you to correspond to the movements of the basic torso skeleton. Through this, the movement of the upper part of the skirt is moved by the key animation of the skirt bone of the basic torso skeleton, and the remaining parts are moved by the animation key of the skirt bone of the basic body skeleton. Each skirt is moved by a physics simulation of the skeleton connected to the mesh. Using a retargeting system, we efficiently integrate the structure of the existing torso skeleton and the newly added skirt bone. It was effective in combining animations for various parts by flexibly constructing the character's skeleton. So you can see in this image here, retargeting results, light blue basic skeleton, blue skirt mesh skeleton. Okay, so yeah, the light blue here is like the basic skeleton, and then the dark blue here, the normal blue, is the skirt mesh skeleton. We may not be satisfied with all forms, but we will find the answer. As always, below is a temporary modeling resource for testing that was used in the early R&D process. Key animation, torso skeleton plus upper skirt skeleton, physical animation, skirt lower skeleton, combination result. So here you can see those images. The 4-point skirt was actually a skirt that moved in the air. All of the content introduced above was a process to express the natural movement of the 4-point skirt. Although cloth animation has not been applied to cloth skirts, research is underway to apply it to cloaks and certain types of mesh. In addition, various research is underway to improve the natural motion of clothing using a new engine. Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity post on the Korean site. So, art technician, character creation. As with most game development projects, the Mabinogi Eternity project was especially in dire need of professional technicians in each field. How are existing art resources rendered within the engine? What should I do to bring this to the new engine? There are always many different types of costumes and hair in Mabinogi. What should I do to make this movement more natural? I really wanted to do it when I went to the new engine, but is it possible to express all the things that could not be expressed due to the wall of an old engine? Because we needed people to give us answers to all of this, generally the problem is solved through collaboration between artists and programmers. In order to develop more quickly and reliably, we had to reduce the depth of communication. So we quickly began recruiting experts, art technicians with technical knowledge and experience, and artists in various fields such as character and background models, animation effects, and UI. We hired a technical artist to handle graphics within the new engine, such as shader development and optimization. When it comes to shader porting, shouldn't we just look at the code and import it? It is certainly true that you can look at the code, understand its structure, and import it in a form suitable for Unreal Engine, but the problem was that the code was very fragmented. Of course, just looking at the resource structure and final rendering result, I could see how the shader was built. But what was important to us was not analogy, but accurate calculation. Even if the calculation is slightly wrong, a completely different result will be output. I recreated the art resource production process and began to analyze the database and rendering related codes one by one. I was able to piece together all the meaningful information one by one. As a result, and we have this video here, so this is the result. Neo uploaded to Unreal Engine to commemorate the success of Pleon shader porting. But it doesn't end here. As I was enjoying the joy of completing a successful shader port, I heard countless voices. So, when we get the light, it starts to sparkle, right? We can just set up the light when we take a screenshot, right? Right now, some outlines come out and some don't. Is everything coming out now? The color of the outline is also just showing off the dye color. My hair is sticking out through my clothes. Are you going to fix this too? Is my hair blowing in the wind now? Of course, it was just the beginning. What was fortunate, though, was that we had invited experts in each field. Please allow character shaders to respond to various light sources. You may be wondering how obvious this is. When using Unreal Engine, it is natural for 3D models to react to various light sources. The Eternity project inherits the flat yet unique colors of the current Mabinogi, while at the same time, the goal is to be able to interact with the variety of light sources. However, it is difficult to achieve both purposes simultaneously with the basic shading model provided by Unreal Engine. We created a custom shading model by modifying the engine code. By removing the fine surface bidirectional distribution function and modifying it to adjust the amount and color of light hitting the surface, a cartoon-like expression is possible. It was tuned to be affected by various fixed and dynamic light sources and provided to character shader creators. Simply put, if you only use the basic shading model provided by Unreal, you can lose Mabinogi's unique style with truly realistic light expressions. Unable to react to different light sources or only see the results of one or the other. There are many different solutions to this, but we chose to create a shading model unique to Mabinogi. And here you can see the default lit and the unlit. Good, now draw the outline too. Because the outline can give a completely different impression depending on its presence or absence, it is an element that can visually separate the background and the character. This is an element that would be disappointing if it were left out in a cartoon-style shader. As such, research is being conducted in a variety of ways. In the case of Mabinogi, a very thin outline is used. Due to engine limitations, it may be missing in areas where application is difficult due to translucent objects or some compatibility issues. There are many side effects, so all of these had to be resolved in the new engine. There are several ways to handle outlines. We tried many different things to find a method that suited Mabinogi's needs. In order to create a sensuous outline in a Mabinogi style while reducing man-hours costs, we chose the scene depth processing method, rather than simply transplanting the existing feeling, so that the color of the clothes shines through, so that the lines remain constant even when the distance increases, so that the lines disappear as the distance increases. To draw or not draw certain parts, to draw lines in translucent materials, etc., we encountered and dealt with a variety of issues. I was proud of the process of mixing and applying non-open technologies and working with character artists. As an 8-year Militian who is still working hard at Mabinogi, I was really happy to hear the news about the engine replacement. So what about the dislocated shoulder? Are all the clothes and hair moving now? In fact, after the decision to replace Unreal Engine, shoulder dislocation was one of the most heard stories. I too was eagerly hoping for this as a Militian before becoming a developer. The programmers and animation technicians put a lot of effort into this part. In the existing Mabinogi, there were insufficient examples such as shoulder dislocation. There were many shortcomings such as polygons breaking when the character moved. At Eternity, we aimed to look as natural as possible in shoulders, hips, etc. And unlike the existing Mabinogi, many bones were added to express the detailed parts of fingers. Additionally, additional bones have been set to make customization more natural. With so many bones added, it is difficult to simply port existing Mabinogi animation files. Based on the existing Mabinogi animation, additional parts such as the fingers are being worked on step by step, and the costumes are also very diverse. In a typical MMORPG projector, the bones are often set and the costume design is designed to match the position of the bones. Since Mabinogi's costumes were already available in various designs, it was necessary to match the costume to patterns. It is not possible to plant infinite bones, and it is difficult to animate or control a large number of bones one by one. Many experts are working hard to successfully replace the Mabinogi engine. Of course, there is still much left to do. A core part of the technical art issue has been dealt with, but in addition, there are countless elements that enrich Mabinogi, such as expressions of materials. We will do our best until the Mabinogi engine replacement is successful, and of course, we will continue to do so thereafter. Alright, so the Eternity page on the Mabinogi Korea website has been updated. So there's a lot of new posts, and we're going to look at this one first. So, Aaron long-term repair plan. So today I would like to explain the various processes for importing Mabinogi's 3D resources into Unreal Engine. In general, commercial engines, resources created with 3D tools are imported through a format called FBX. The Pleon engine uses its own extension called PMG. Therefore, in order to import already created 3D resources into Unreal Engine, a tool to convert the extension was needed. Thanks to quick development of the tools, porting each region went very smoothly. So it looks like they've already ported like all these regions into the game, but they still have to go over them, edit them, and make them look good. Like add all the movement permissions and stuff. So we were able to quickly port all areas in Erin to Unreal Engine. Of course, it would be nice if it ended here, but it would be difficult to say that the porting was complete simply by importing it. So yeah, they have to like add all the movement permissions and stuff. And here you can see them importing like resources from the logging camp in this picture. This is like Dugald Isle. Since detailed materials were not expressed in Pleon, it was also necessary to set each material anew to suit the Unreal environment. So like this is the road in Dumbarton. And I think this is what it looks like with the Unreal thing. That looks really good if that's an Unreal Engine. Things that were made so long ago that their form itself needs to be renewed may need to be replaced by making something completely new. I imagine they'll have to do a lot of that for like the insides of buildings and stuff, especially since like the insides of a lot of buildings are like 2D and look really crappy when you actually move the camera angle around in there. But here we can actually finally get like a good view of Dumbarton. So you can see how they changed like the entrance to Dumbarton here, and this looks really good. And also you can see like this board here, but it doesn't have like, it doesn't have anything on it where there'd usually be images. So it mostly looks like they're done with Dumbarton. Only after going through this process can you complete the background resources that fit the engine environment. Fortunately, all regions were quickly imported using the porting tool. It was pointless to transplant the costumes and hair in their basic form. The framework and wires themselves are lacking to provide natural movement. This is because the skin of the hands and feet also had to be replaced. Because there were many parts that were difficult to meet Eternity's standards, it was in a state where it could only be brought in after some processing had been completed from the beginning. First, rather than taking the basic form as is, we proceed with modeling work to process it to meet Eternity's standards. In particular, we add more wires so that not only the hands and skin, but also the clothes and hair can move naturally. Once the modeling is completed, a framework for natural movement is planted. If you make various settings so that the skeleton can move well... Okay, here's a video. Let's see that. Yeah, that looks really good. Of course, things with simple porting processes can be ported efficiently using automation tools. So here's like some weapons. As the final resource production is completed after going through such a variety of processes, the efficiency of the overall process is very important, as there is a lot of work to be done. We are building a solid foundation so that we can build on it without collapsing. So we saw this in the Korean fantasy party. They're like changing outfits and showing how like the hair and the outfits move. So this looks really good. I like the way this turned out, and it kind of shows us that... It kind of shows us that, like, Dumbarton is in progress right now, and it's getting a lot better. You can kind of see, like, here, how the shingles don't look very good right here. But they look really good, like, in this image on the right. Like, look how much more detail they have now. Alright, let's stream some Mabinogi today. Starting a little bit late, but that's okay. There's nothing big going on a Wednesday. Like, it's tomorrow that's gonna be the big Mabinogi day, and I don't even know if I'm gonna stream Mabinogi tomorrow, honestly. Like, it's gonna depend on how much fun I'm having in the new Dying Light game tomorrow. So, I'll try and do both games, but if that one's, like, super good, I might just stream that all day and play Mabby off stream. I have no idea. Alright, let's go find out what the daily dungeon is and the daily veteran dungeon. We'll get those. And then we'll do some Grandmaster tests after that, probably. And then some Dan tests. Just a real short day. Getting stuff done. Got a coil pass. The gathering. Mana herbs. Don't really have an herb garden yet on this character. In fact, I've been kind of neglecting homestead work. I could do Sniper War. That one's pretty easy. Okay, we're not doing the normal daily dungeon. I don't feel like doing that one. Wait, how many spirit gems do we have? Let's go ahead and feed my spirit weapon. Gonna feed the scythe. $42.27%. Then we have those as well. Okay, 45.12%. I haven't gem upgraded that staff. I should maybe do that one day. Okay, let's check how we get like a gem thing. Let's go to Bangor. We're gonna try and give that staff a gem upgrade because I have a bunch of those. Like, I have a bunch of these gems and stuff, upgrade stones that we can use, so let's make the staff better.
빈둥대는 젊은이들이 많고
I don't think I can use like a... I don't think I can just use an upgrade stone on it yet. Yeah, where do we go to perform a gem upgrade for a staff? Wands, swords, microphones, lances. Let's check out wands. Wonder if I can even give this thing a gem upgrade. Probably. Yeah, gem upgrade is available. Okay, so where do we go to unlock that though? Maybe I'm just at the wrong NPC. Maybe I need to go somewhere like a nature reserve or a steward. Someone that actually works with magic equipment. So we're just gonna go talk to a few NPCs. Okay. First, let's see what we can get from just getting some random items from this, because we can get some gem boxes from this possibly.
교과서가 부족한데.
Yeah, there's one of the ones that we need. I still need a diamond and a jasper one. I don't think I got any more gem boxes than that.
알아낸 선생님한테 부탁할까? 알아낸 선생님한테 부탁할까? 내 강의에 문제가 있는 건가? 아이라는 책 다 마련했으려나?
Okay, let's get the other two we need from the auction house.
알아낸 선생님한테 부탁할까?
Well, that just makes its durability go up. I don't think it's fit for... Oh wait, now it has a special upgrade thing. Let's go see if we can actually do that now. Or if I picked the wrong thing there. Oh right, I don't want to go down here. Alright, we're finally set. I need to open up some of those boxes. The blue ones increase the weapon's damage and magic attack. The red ones increase... Okay, I want the blue ones. There we go, some success. Got to a level 2. Let's try for a level 3. Nope, now we're back down to level 1. Good thing I have a lot of those stones to waste. Sort of a gamble. So now it has 125 extra magic attack and 4% bonus damage. Very nice. I wonder if there'd be a slightly higher chance on Wednesdays. Too bad there's no way to like protect it from going down a level. For now, I think I'll settle for where it's at. If I try upgrading it again to 45, then it's probably going to fail. So the chances of getting it to level 4 are very slim. I'll probably run out of stones before I do that, and then I'll probably be stuck at like a level 1 or 2. So I'll just take what I can get today. That's good enough. Alright, let's hop over to Coil. We're gonna clear that. Okay, so Scythe, Orb, and Staff. Pull those two out. Pull that down a little bit. Alright, boss time. Let's crush this guy. Let's get rid of the green gremlins first, though. Come on, a little bit closer. Okay, let's do that for a second. Getting a little complicated. That fire sprite is really annoying. Alright, we have some meteors, let's go ahead and use them. I'm gonna target the fire sprite. For now, I want to really focus on that one. Just get him out of the way. There. Okay, we have one more meteor, so let's go ahead and use that. "49 minutes and 31 seconds. It'd probably go a little bit faster with Dark Diviner. Like, I could probably finish it in like 30 or 40 minutes with Dark Diviner. But I'm not using it because I want to level up that Explosive Vanguard. Okay, Smoldering Thread, Spirit Gems, a normal gem. When's the next level? Oh, okay, so we're a long ways off. Going a lot slower now that the Master Plan event is over, and the Flying High event. Okay, let's go ahead and do a rebirth. And tomorrow we get the first reward, so Rowan's gloves and the Pan's special support box. The tree, boots, Spirit transformation liquor, beauty coupon, eyes, outfit, hairstyle. Okay, cool. So a lot of things to get. Alright, let's go to Tara and do some Grandmaster missions. We're working on Grandmaster missions for Battle Alchemist right now, so we'll keep doing that. Wait, is this the single player one or the 4-player one? Warden of the Gods, we can do that. I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna beat 10, no, we're not gonna beat 10 Shadow Commanders. Forget that. Okay, single player. Grandmaster Shadow Mission, so this is the weak one. Kinda like the 4-player one, because it's actually challenging. Well, that's it. Easy. Okay, let's go Dumbarton. So the other one was Warden of the Gods, I believe, and we can get the pass for that for 7 adventure seals. Yeah. Easy. We'll switch over to Mage for that. What is the objective? Today we're just doing some dailies. So nothing too major. The new events don't start until Thursday. So I'm doing Grandmaster tests right now. Okay, we'll summon those two, and... yeah, that one involving the tech stuff might be pretty difficult. Even I'm a little underleveled for that. But I think you can still do it if you like find a good party though. Because it's like a party effort thing. Yep, that's how the Mabby grind works. You either dedicate your life to this or to real life. But I do think it's great that like a lot of players are returning though. Well, I think most new players are returning because of like the hope for Unreal Engine. And then like the good quality life updates we keep getting while we wait for that is just like the icing that's getting players to come back and stay. And even if returning to like this Mabinogi isn't like for everyone, there's also Mabinogi Mobile, like that's gonna get an NA release like probably late this year, early next year. Yeah, Mabinogi does have like that effect on people too. It has like a way of really really sticking around in your memories. Like, I think that's the social elements of this game. A lot of people came here for a good social game with like decent fashion, and because it was such a good social game, you could form like really meaningful attachments here. does have a special charm for getting players to come back. Oops, a little too far away there. I'm mostly just doing casual stuff, nothing I really need too much help with. So Grandmaster missions are done, and then after I turn these in, might work on Dan tests. I need to bring up my skills and stuff. Yeah, I usually do my veteran run like pretty early when I get in. I did Colliel on veteran earlier. Yeah, I think after this mission I'll focus on like band tests. And then maybe I'll do some commerce after that. Depending on like how long I spend on my band tests. If I take Firebolt up, then that won't take very long. But if I focus on my Battle Astrologer seals instead, that would probably take a little bit longer. Yeah, there's a lot of empty friends lists. Like, a lot of players move on and some don't come back. Your best chance for like finding groups would be to like join a guild. Like guilds have gotten a massive update a couple months ago. Guilds do kind of have the problem where they're either too active or they're not active enough. That's usually the problem that I find with guilds, is like, you're either gonna find a guild that has a bunch of active players and everyone wants to tell you to go do this, go do that, and it's a little too active, or they just don't do anything and most of their players are AFK. But yeah, you also need to look for a guild that like also plays at like at similar times that you do. We still have those Tara banquets on Saturdays at like 7 p.m. Like, that's also a pretty good way to, like, meet new players, too. A lot of guilds go there to, like, advertise themselves and stuff. Just depends on how seriously they take things. There are some guilds that are pretty hardcore about, like, doing content and stuff. Oh good, I can take these up. One strength for that one. Let's tramp this too. This outfit is a pretty old one. It doesn't have like an idle animation built in. It's the Ancient Desert Warrior outfit. So they have like two versions of this. They have the Desert Warrior outfit and the Ancient one, and the Ancient one has an action that lets you turn into like this Egyptian cat, which is kind of cool. And then I use like this coffee cup blunt weapon to like give it an idle animation. And then it's like mixed with a few other pieces. Like I'm only using the outfit and the gloves. And then I have like different shoes and like a tail and cat ears. Then there's the other one, which is the Ancient Desert Guardian outfit, which looks a little bit similar. I think I started this one like late June or early July, so this character is actually pretty recent. The master plan event is the only reason I'm like as far along as I am with this character now. But yeah, I planned out this character probably about like a year before I actually like got the art done and all that. And no, this character isn't my main character. Well, I mean, he is my new main character now. I was working on an elf for like 3 years. And also we have the cat form too. Because I can transform into that little cat, I also had like a smaller cat model made for him. But I basically streamed on like an elf character for 3 years before I made this character, so I have an older model for him too. And then I decided that I wanted to reach endgame as a giant. Mostly because I never did much as a giant before, like, on giant characters before I got through maybe like Gen 2 or something like that, but nowhere near this point in the game, so just wanted to see what it was like to get a giant this far. So I'm assuming I haven't passed the SS rank for either one of these even once. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's such a pain in the butt to do those. Yeah, giants are a little slow. I mean, the advantage to a giant is that, like, they can tank a lot. So they make up for their speed with their loss of speed with, like, power. But yeah, human's pretty good because it can do just about everything. To make up for power, your elf friend might want to look into the Alchemic Sharpshooter Arcana, like, that one's exclusively for humans and elves, and one of my friends that plays, like, they're really, really strong with Alchemic Sharpshooter. Dark Diviner also has some pretty good advantages too. It complements like it complements Mage well. Yeah, I don't think I feel like the struggle of Battle Astrologer Dan ranks today. I think I'm gonna go with Firebolt. Oh, but do I not have 100 XP on that? I might need to train. Okay, so we'll have to defeat some enemies first. I thought that was maxed out, but I guess it wasn't. try here, maybe. And probably one-shot a boar. Oh, not quite? Okay. And on second thought, I'll train him with the foxes at Philia, because I don't think that training spot is taken very often. I joined Mabinogi back when Secrets of Erenid was new, like that story update. I remember because they had that as the background, as the login screen. Didn't even know what to do back then, just spent most of my time as an elf standing outside of Philia running Wonga Dungeon and stuff. There we go. That was a fun crossover event back when that happened. I was a big fan of Saber's character. Yeah, and they also sold the those Rem and Ram partners too. had quite a few anime events. I think that's great, like, that'll bring a lot of attention to the game, especially after Unreal, having more, like, crossover events like that. Yeah, I usually spend a lot on those anime crossover events, like, they are tempting, certainly. Especially some of the crossover pets, too, because, like, you buy those, then they'll sell for a fortune later. 'Cause those never come back. There we go, 9k points. One more time to pass. Yeah, Kokopo is pretty valuable. And it's not even compatible with, like, the new pet talent, too. Like, you can't fin sync it with anything, but it is still a pretty cool and unique pet. But I think what I did, like, when that event rolled around, or with, like, some of the other crossovers, is, like, I purposely bought two of the same pet, and then I sold, like, one off for, like, a ton of gold later. It's kind of unfortunate that they like don't really sell pets directly anymore. Like they sell a couple of them, but the really good pets, those are all shoved in like pet gachas these days. Which aren't necessarily, like, they're not like a horrible deal, but they're not ideal either, because it's like, you can put money into a pet gacha and like get a guaranteed new skin, one of the new standard skins of the new pet, and like 10 others. So you can like sell off pets, make a lot of gold. You can still make it worth your while, but it does cost a lot more. Well, I think like the one silver lining that Mabinogi does have is like the auction house. Like, technically you can get anything for free. I mean, you can sell just about anything in the auction house for gold. And that's kind of like the one redeeming quality. Like, I know like in FF14 you can't do that. You can't sell like event outfits or pets or items or stuff like that for in-game currency. So it's at least nice to have that option here. But yeah, it either costs your cash or most of your spare time. One of the two. Just the price we pay. Yeah, that's true. Players can always manipulate the market to like some extent, especially in a game where our community is so small. I think that problem might get a little bit better and go away, like once we get to Unreal. Like once there's so many players, we could have a little bit more of an open market. But it is kind of small and controlled at the moment. Having bad luck with this virus. Ice spray. There we go. It's okay, lots of time. Well, hopefully in like 1 to 3 years from now, like everyone's kind of hoping it'll be around 2027 or 2028. But there is a Eternity section on the main official website, both on the Korean site and on the NA site. You can translate like most of... Oh, I must not pick the rank for this one. You can pick the... You can like translate most of what's on the Korean site with like Chrome. Their last update was like in June, and when they did that, they actually like showed off what Dunbarton gameplay looked like in Unreal and what they'd finished there. Like, aside from doing the insides of the buildings in there, they finished like all the outer parts of Dumbarton pretty much, and showed off some combat. So that's what players are holding out for now. Yeah, that's true. Some people do like have concerns about what the system requirements are going to be and things like that. I hope that's one thing that like Nexon keeps in mind as they like do it. I mean, there's no getting around the fact that some players are just going to have to like upgrade their PCs a little bit. That's unavoidable with an update like that, but still, you should try and like aim for making it so that it'll run on just about any basic PC that's like 500 or so. But yeah, they have a... This is the best place to get updates, just like coming in here with Chrome. It sounds like they know what they're doing, and I do appreciate the fact that they're being very open with their community. They're like making posts like this showing what kind of progress they've made on like various things. So at least player communication is there. And yeah, you can basically read like all about what they've been doing here. And then the NA also has like their own Eternity section. I think it is currently up to date, but they are a little bit slower at rolling out the updates. Like they update it about 2 or 3 months typically after the Korean site does. This is intended to be a graphical update. Like, you're not going to lose any of your character data or anything like that. Like, it's just going to be a upgrade in every way. So same game, same characters, just upgrading the graphics and a lot of the mechanics. I think this video here shows off like the was this the character creation one, or oh, I guess this one's just like the character select screen. They have like videos about the character creation system and the Unreal gameplay in Dumbarton. A lot of good changes to Dumbarton. They're gonna add staircases in places and make things a little bit more accessible. So it almost has like it has a very similar look to like Genshin Impact, kind of. The graphical style is similar. And then recently they also like put this all in English, so we don't know when it's quite coming out, so probably like late this year or early next year. We have Mabinogi Mobile to look forward to as well. Which I think is great, because even if like you don't play it, like the advertising the game will get from it alone is just overall going to be a positive thing. Actually, I have this one as like my desktop background right now. It's a nice image. Yeah, mobile is going to be its own thing, so it's going to play quite a bit differently. Like, even the map is different. Regions of Erin, let's go with that. So like Turconale and Dumbarton are pretty much going to be the same, but there's also Port Colhen, like over here. And this is completely new. It kind of gives a feel that's similar to Port Cobb and Bangor. So far, I've only heard good things about mobile. Like, I haven't really heard anything negative about it. I think in Korea they just started like Gen 2 recently. But it has sort of like a shell-shaded graphic style. So, sort of like Wind Waker. Has that kind of... Looks pretty good though. Like Duncan looks awesome there. What does full swordsman look like? That's probably what I'm gonna go with. Oh, so Vanguard's like using a big sword. More heavy attacks, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know, like, about the quests or anything like that. So far, it's been, like, very well received by the community over there. So I don't think it has any, like, cheap gimmick like that. It'll also be playable on PC, too, so... There are a lot of people that play it through PC. Well, there's nothing really going on until Thursday, so I think I'm gonna wrap up things for Mabinogi right around here. Thursday will be a bigger Mabinogi day, tomorrow will just be more casual stuff. But that's it for today's Mavi stream.